Okay, don't forget this is the last one until May. Bit of a break for going away. I got to go run off to my funeral in a couple of days, and then into the US for a bit. Catching up with the people there. Let's get this going, hey? All right. So last week and this week are very important moments on our spiritual foundation journey. They are, or could be seen as, pivotal moments where the work starts to look external. Yet it is not external. And if you have not seen this and done the work that needs to be done, what is to come for you in the future talks, which will continue in May, will become all the more harder, and their results would be far weakened if this work was not done to this point. So with this break at the moment, go back and do the work that is waiting for you. Because what's to come will be harder as we look at trauma, the mirror that reflects back to you, the removal of ancestral issues, the desire for sacred service, and the way to stand proudly in your own light. If the past work isn't complete, then that work will never happen to its full extent. So this talk today, I'm going to pause quite frequently to allow you to absorb the previous sentence, so that you could totally understand it and see it within your life or your situation, and hence see the work that must be done. Today's talk will be the sovereign self. And I must start with a particularly important point. And that is, many people chase spiritual work as a method of fixing themselves. They look towards another to complete them. They look towards spirit to fix their situation. They look towards a spirit relative to take away a decision or a difficulty. And the work they must do is an internal process. They seek spirituality as a way of further avoiding perhaps what is awkward, difficult, or confronting. And they move away from the inner self, thinking the outer world will resolve whatever is internally deficient. So they build a very shaky bridge from their internal self out into the world. But the bridge is only as stable as the land that it is built upon on both sides of the bridge. If that land is not built with firm foundation, then the bridge may crumble, or the destination they arrive at will not provide what they want. So we've done quite a bit of work so far. We've travelled a lot of terrain. When we've looked at spiritual bypassing, avoiding problems, we have set boundaries to keep our energy. We've embodied behind the boundaries, found our shadow self hidden within us. We've looked into the world with clear eyes, and last week we started the bridge of relatability, where we could walk into the world and find solace in what's on the other side. But if this bridge is based in avoidance rather than joining, then the person building the bridge is looking towards another for their sense of peace. Perhaps looking towards a spiritual group for their sense of longing, or for spiritual scripture for help in making their decision. But all the answers are not there. And if you build a bridge with that in mind, it is not a bridge at all. but it is a lean-to, a codependency. It is fragile, it is difficult, and it will not last the sense of time. And all the person has done is change from toxic dependency to spiritual dependency. What was not right, for whatever reason, to that glimmer of what is right on the other side of the bridge. And the ego, seeing that little bit of light in the distance, races across the most feeble bridge, thinking that is my finish, my end. That is my destination, where everything is light, love, and perfect. Now you'll see it in people's skill sets or gifts that they develop. They get the first glimpse of some success. And the ego picks up that success and races forward, saying, "This is who I am." And perhaps the ego stakes a claim and says, "I am a medium," or "I am a healer," or "I am a fixer of souls." And yet the inner work hasn't even started yet. So if that work then is given to others, it is based on false foundation. It is not based on truth, but a glimmer of truth. It is not based on acquisition of the sovereign self, but a light at the end of the tunnel. And the ego racing ever forward with an empty chest of what it claims to be its own, gets to some other place and realizes there is just a void. The answer was never in the other groups, or in perhaps a teacher or some other methodology which one thinks will complete the self. But you are empty upon arrival, rather than rich in self and full of all that you could be. If you think another will complete you, what are you avoiding? If you think another will validate you, what are you missing? See how your work has not been based on the foundations that I have already given you, and go backwards. Do not make the same mistake again, because as soon as we reflect trauma back to you, you will realize that there is not sufficient structure within you to manage that process. So the pivotal point of these talks is last week and this week. There are about 10 more to come in this series. And this is number 7. We're not at the halfway point yet. And what is to come is bigger than what is behind. and it has the potential to swamp you. Or you will put on a brave face but be in torture on the inside, as you can't fully do the work. You may need to go back and look at any of the particular weeks which resonate for you. And then the anchoring of this bridge of relatability is firmly within the sovereign self. And you can go forward across a stable, steady, permanent bridge as often as you wish. Now, this isn't perhaps surgery that is required, although you may see it that way. But it is the recognition of what is true rather than what has been thought to be true in your past. And from now on, we become stable in self, and you become your own sun rather than anything else. So spend the time of the next few weeks and be prepared. If you must do exercises repeatedly, then so be it. And then we'll progress forward. So the sacred self is the glory of you. It is the truth of you. Not a truth that you read about or somebody points towards, but the honest reflection of your own light. It is not based on circumstances being perfect. It's not based on life being always peaceful. It is not based on love and light until the shadow is fully removed. And then once the inner self is dusted, the light of you shines, and the glory of love is truthful. So this is our opportunity now. And I will talk more about the opportunity after the healing list. But the opportunity is one of light, where the past was the removal of the mud covering the light. So your work has been cleansing, not acquiring. Your work has been removal to reveal, not acquisition. And once you cleanse and clear and remove and dust, the light then is fully known. You are not given it, you are it. And if you are not it now, there's some steps we've gone over that you must do again. So remember, a bridge that is built on the completion of oneself from another is not a bridge. So what should you do if another leans on you? If their work is not done and they rest on your light. The first thing is to recognize that it is happening, and to realize that somewhere back there is something to be resolved in the other person. And you should continue to shine your light. But you do not remove the debris in the other person. You do not do their work for them, and you may even find it is more helpful for the other if you withdraw. Will not seem like it, but that work must be done by them rather than to them. You do not withdraw your love, but you may withdraw your distance. And you may encourage them and even shine a light of their destiny. But you do not hope to acquire a clean version of them until they are clean themselves. Otherwise, you will gain their toxicity and become equally dependent, and you'll watch the slow crumbling of a dissatisfactory connection that's not built on firm foundations, but is based on dependency. So hence that person will build a bridge only halfway and say, I am here. And you may watch from a distance the other scrambling to find wood and stone to make a bridge themselves toward your light. And it looks like you are being painful to them. You are not helping them. That perhaps even you are nonchalant to their pains and traumas and difficulty. But you sit on the end of your bridge and you shine your light and say, left a bit, right a bit, a little bit more there. And the impatience in the other will be seen as they say, I want it now. It is like you are the finish line and they do not want to run the race. So you should hold your light as a representation of your truth and shine it back to them so that they can see where to place brick and stone and wood. But you cannot lay the bricks for them. You must only be the light. But this building of the bridge, the firmness of one's sovereign self, the one whole that they must become, is an opportunity for tremendous growth. And if the previous work is done brick after brick, stone after stone, wooden support after support will be built firmly by the individual. Look for this both within yourself and also the desire within yourself to pick up a gift and to run before you've put the whole gift into your box. So let's look at the opportunity that we have. May I have the healing list of names first, please?
Yes. Keiko, Anne, Miriam, Dave, Daniel, Joy, Robert, Bella, Linda, Eduardo, Claudio, Stephanie, Lauren, Cotty, Chris, Ben, and Lucy Wielden, Anne and Kathleen, Mary, Geraldine, Penny, Jack Broughton, Sue, Jenny, Christopher, Misty and family, Craig and Harini, Steve, Raquel, Teresa, Jane and Lorna, Maria, Ashley, Jonah, Jules, Stephen, Matthew, Eric, Louise, John, Don, Mirabai, Marianne and Jody, Jill, Katie, Mitch, Bob, Philip, Jolie, Amanda, Len and Bev, Amanda, Manakem, Mika and Owen, Jesse, Jean and Carrie, Amanda Kay, Alex, Abby, Ross, Karen, Aiden, Laura, Emma, Stephanus, Gabrielle, Gemma, Antonella, Carrie and family, Barbara, Sheila, Karen, Tracy, Vince and Irene, Joe and all of Joe's family, Steve, Avril, Maya, Linda, Brenda, Ben, Irene, Clive, Jim, Debbie, Pat, Thea, Monica, Taylor, Griffin, Lonnie, Ron, Kathy, Coulter, Rosa, Cappy Dog, Crippa, and may all be happy. Thank you.
So I'm going to make an important statement and then just pause for a little moment for the words to sink into you. The person wanting to build the bridge and to race across it wants to do with the feeling of love within their heart. They do it with the right motive, but without the right tools. When the person is not their sovereign self, they drain the energy of another. They pull from the other the energy of their own growth, trying to fill the hole that is within them. They drain the energy from perhaps the teaching or scripture. And the scripture becomes dry. It becomes just words or facts, but nothing else. They pull from the energy of groups, even though they are there to give. They pull from the energy of their family and friends, and perhaps they do not even know they are doing this. But their completion is external. They want a little piece of whatever is external. And rather than being a contributor, they are the hole in the bucket where the energy leaks from. But the opportunity is not to see the light that is outside. To stop being the moon that reflects the light of another into the world, but become their own sun. And that sun then is whole, it is strong, it is bright, and it is not dependent. It is stable and it exists despite the world. It is bright whether you agree with me or not, whether I am in error or I have succeeded. It is bright despite the lumps and hills and valleys and jungles of the spiritual path. And this is why this light must be established as we move deeper into jungles, as we challenge our foundations to deliver more light, not less. It is a light that has gone from codependency to a self. A light needing no external satisfaction, gratification, validation, that is just its light. If you see the light of another, those in need not wanting to do the work, or try to cling and hold the light of other people, or other teaching, or other groups, rather than becoming a source of light within the group. That person may try to be confident, but lack the internal confidence that is required. So if the person here does not fix their problem, they cannot make definite steps into what is to come. They can try, they may even understand, but their light is not strong enough to shine into the dark corners of themselves or of others. And yet, it is not so difficult to fix. It is simply moving from stepping stone 1 to 2 to 3, and only going forward when the current stepping stone is complete. So your job now is to find where your energy is leaking and plug the hole. To find where you are not fully established in self, where you are seeking either avoidance, gratification, validation, or something else, and plug the hole. To do the work of being stable and whole and sovereign within oneself. So there is an exercise split into two halves that you can do. And it is only done in your private time when you can work privately. This does not require another where other exercises may have done. So when you are ready and willing, this is the exercise you can do. But only when you can give it full attention. The first part of the exercise is the audit, to find where your holes are. And you should sit quietly. You should close your eyes and then imagine a situation where you've needed to hook onto someone or something else. Perhaps you've needed their importance or their consideration, their validation, their company. Perhaps you've needed their approval. Perhaps you've needed to know that they are there. So think of one situation. And as you think of the situation, feel inside maybe a slight floatiness or agitation that you may represent. And think of what that word is that you have needed from the other. And you should then feel that need being met from your internal self. So if it's importance, you give yourself importance inside. If it is love you are chasing from another, sit with your inner love. If it is support from another, sit inside with your courage. So with this exercise, or this part of the exercise, we are saying match your own needs internally. Don't look for another or some external situation. Fill your own needs from within yourself. So the second part of the exercise is the vow. And this is where you chase zero validation. You may pick this for a few hours. You may pick it to do just in your evening, or morning or afternoon. You may pick it for 24 hours or for 7 days, according to how confident you are. And we pick now the choices to seek zero validation externally. So as you approach a situation where maybe you look outwards for your answer, perhaps you had a success and you want to ring a friend to gloat in the pride. Perhaps you have a pain, a difficulty, and you want to talk to a friend about how difficult life is. Perhaps you need an answer to a challenge or a decision. Perhaps you are involved in social media to get gratification or attention. Perhaps you are reading and flicking open a book at a certain page to get exactly the right answer that you need to hear. There are many more examples. As soon as you see any of those, for your chosen time length, you go inwards for your resolution. When you need an answer, you listen inside. When you need external love, you build it inside. When you are chasing peace in a turbulent world, you seek it inside. So for a few hours, a day, a week, zero validation externally. You sit with it. So you see your need in the first exercise, you feel your need in the first exercise, and you may even describe it in the first exercise. Perhaps this gives you a nice sentence of what it is you want. But you answer your question internally rather than externally. And these two exercises, or one exercise broken into two halves, are light building, are sovereign self forming of internal gratification, are establishing oneself in self, of being the light. As soon as that glimmer of light has formed, by the removal of the dust and the establishment of the light, you will build bricks which are stable on your bridge, and your situation will then be not seen as who you are. And if you are lucky, the other is waiting at the halfway point. But whether they are or whether they are not, you hold your light and you are willing to cross over the bridge as many times as you want, because the bridge will be there for you each time that you need it. So the relatability, this bridge of relatability, is not based in the other, but based in the self. It is anchored firmly from within you on your side, and you anchor it firmly on the other side, knowing that it is a stable place to cross and to go into the world and face whatever must be faced. So if you're looking for the external to give you completion, gratification, or even love, then rather than going forward, go back. Even if this means you see your friend halfway across and say, I am not ready to build yet. So the work may look like it's you being a hermit, but it is you holding, manipulating, cleansing, shining, dusting the surface of your light. Not avoidance, but despite what you face. And then your bridge becomes stable. And you become two whole people in a relationship, rather than someone being bright and the shakiness of another. So the work is exactly first find spirit. Do not run across a shaky bridge with an empty box. And be prepared for what we are to do. When we talk again, be ready. You have a few weeks of break to do your work, and then the true warriors of light will walk into the world. Until then, God bless you all.